92.5. Brooke and Jubal's second date update.
It can be awkward when you're out on a first date and then you run into somebody that you know and you have to sit there and have a conversation and like introduce them to your date. Like I can't tell you how many times it's happened to me. Like, hey, this is the repo guy. He's trying to take my car again. And then I have to have a long conversation with him like, hey, sir, could you not take my car? I'm on a date. This is my date. And then they get introduced and it's just awkward.
Yeah.
Well, the girl who wants to do a second date update today had an awkward run-in on her first date, and that's why she thinks she's not getting a call back. Her name is Isabel. Hello, Isabel.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. So your email says you think your date got screwed up because of somebody that you ran into. We'll get into that in just a second. But first, what's the guy's name that you want to call today?
His name is Darren.
Darren, and how did you meet Darren?
I met him kind of in my neighborhood. I just ran into him one day near my house, like a few blocks away. He was on a walk, and I know it's going to sound cliche, but he has a really cute dog. So
Of course.
I had to go over to go pet the dog.
All right.
Did he ask you out or did you ask him out?
He asked me out. We just kind of walked together for a while, and I told him I love animals, and his dog was adorable, and he was obviously aware of that. So we walked together a bit, and, eventually he had to go one way. I needed to turn back and go home, and he asked for my number, so I gave him my number, and the next day he called to ask me to dinner.
That's cute.
By any chance, did he have any binoculars or duct tape on him when you met him?
No creepy duffel bag or anything. He was very normal, very charming.
I was just trying to see if he set up your chance meeting while he was outside walking his dog. So where'd you guys go on your date?
We went to a seafood restaurant, but nothing really fancy. I actually liked his idea of a date. It's one of the places where, they're putting the bib around your neck.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting your hands dirty. And I thought that was really cute. So I was excited.
And you guys seemed to hit everything off okay?
Yeah, and he's really funny. So I spent probably the first half hour laughing, and he was great. I thought it was going really, really well. And then my old boss shows up at the table.
Wait, at your table, did you just say?
Yeah, it got a little awkward.
Did you like your old boss? Or was this somebody that you wouldn't want to talk to normally?
This is someone I would not want to talk to normally, and I'll tell you why. He only goes by his nickname, which is Silky.
Oh, that's nasty,
Silky?
dude. Anyone who refers to themselves as Silky.
That sounds like a fun guy to hang out with to me.
Well, exactly. And so Silky walks up, and he's just a big, loud, obnoxious guy. It was really uncomfortable. And so Darren is trying to play along with all of Silky's terrible jokes. And I know it's hard to say with a straight face. It really is. It's awful. And so Darren actually offers up that it's our first date, and that just got, Silky going.
Oh, yeah. So he's like one of those guys that's always trying to be funny and is always on.
Yeah, and it was terrible. Because we're sitting there with bibs around our neck, and he's asking if there's going to be kisses later. And
Did you guys joke about it? I mean, if I were on a date with you and some dude named Silky came up and was being obnoxious, I would still laugh about it with you after and be like, man, I can't believe you used to work for that guy.
Yeah.
honestly, I was a little flabbergasted that he was there. So, we tried to make light of it. So then Silky finally leaves, and Darren's kind of chuckling, and, he's asking, what's this guy's deal? How do I know him? And I didn't really know what to say because Silky, I knew Silky when I worked in a fast food restaurant as an adult, and it's not something that I really keep on my resume now. It was just something that happened. I was between jobs, and I worked at a fast food place, and it's just, yeah.
So when you told your date that you used to work at a fast food place, you think that turned him off or something?
Oh,
I'm having trouble
I
understanding.
didn't tell him. I just kind of said he was an old boss, and I didn't like working for him. And I kind of asked that we just drop it.
Yeah, can we just enjoy our date together and not talk about that weirdo Silky who just crashed our date for 5 minutes?
I think that's a reasonable request. So, yeah, I just asked that we kind of move on. And Silky's a crazy character from a long time ago. And Darren, I think, took that the wrong way and kind of stared at me like, wondering if I was hiding something or if there was some big secret I wasn't telling him.
If I were Darren, I could see where, if he had an old boss named Silky, I would think that he must have been some sort of drug dealer or something.
I can kind of see that, and it did get a little awkward for a few moments, and then we just went back to dinner and had a good time.
How did your date end?
He dropped me off, and I got an awkward hug.
Do you think
An awkward hug.
Something was obviously bothering him or was wrong, and I don't know what's going on because he hasn't responded to my text. I've texted him a few times, and I feel bad that maybe I should have just told him about the fast food job, or maybe my perfume was too strong, or he didn't. I don't know. I was wearing too much makeup. I don't know what went wrong, but I want to know.
I love a girl's brain. There's always 8,000 different reasons it could be.
Well, we'll play a song, come back, call him, and get your second date update, okay?
Okay. Thanks.
Hang on.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal in the mornings. Second date update.
Having your first date interrupted by a coworker can be annoying. Having your first date interrupted by an old boss named Silky can definitely ruin the whole thing.
Sounds bad.
If you're just tuning in for the second date update, Isabel is on the phone with us. She met a guy named Darren. They had a really fun date going, and then her old boss, a guy named Silky, happened to be at the restaurant they were eating at. I don't think that's his real name. I think he just calls himself Silky. But he crashed their date for a little while, and apparently he's one of these big, loud, obnoxious dudes, and he wouldn't stop joking around. And when he left, her date asked about Silky, and she didn't want to say where she knew Silky from because it was when she was between jobs, she was working at a burger place, and she was kind of embarrassed of that. So she asked him to move on, and then ever since Silky's appearance on the date, her date sort of seemed a little weirded out, and he hasn't called her since. Yeah. We're going to get him on the phone and find out if it was Silky who ruined the day for her. Are you about ready to go, Isabel?
I'm ready. I want to know what happened.
And you do know, Isabel, you shouldn't be ashamed of working hard and having to work at a fast food joint for a little while.
I know. It's nothing against anyone who works fast food. For me, it was just my degree wasn't, it's just not a part of my life I talk about.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to dial the phone number right now, and I'm hoping that the guy you went out with, Darren, doesn't answer. I'm hoping Silky answers, because I'm curious about that guy more than I am about Darren, honestly. All right, here we go.
Hello?
Hi, can I speak to Darren, please?
Is this Darren?
Hey, Darren, how are you? This is Jubal from Brooke and Jubal in the Morning.
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know you.
I know you. I know you, Darren.
Well, that's not creepy.
Sort of.
Whoa, who is that?
Sorry, this is Jubal from Brooke and Jubal in the Morning. It's a morning radio show. One of our listeners actually emailed us to see if we could get you on the phone.
Why?
Well, because you recently went out on a date with this person, and now you're not calling her back. So she asked if we could get you on the phone and find out what went wrong on your date and why you don't want to go out with her again. Her name is Isabel.
Oh, this can't be good.
It could be good. I don't know. You tell me. Isabel wants to know why you're not calling her back. She says she's tried to text you a few times since you guys went out and has heard nothing from you.
It's just not something I really want to pursue or get into. Or
She told us about the date. Can I just at least kind of tell you what she was saying?
She told you about our date?
Yeah. She told us all about how you guys went out to the seafood place, like a crab shack type place.
Okay.
And she...
Oh, my God, that's weird.
She said she really enjoyed it, by the way.
The food? Yeah.
The food, the company. She said she liked you a lot. I'll tell you why she thinks she's not getting a call back, and maybe you can just tell me if I'm wrong or right, okay?
Uh-huh.
She says that during your date, you were interrupted for a little while by her ex-boss, a guy that calls himself Silky, and he sounds like quite the character.
Oh, so she told you about Silky, huh?
She did. She told us about good old Silky. She said it was a really weird experience because he came up and he was obnoxious.
Yeah, he's a weird dude. I mean, he's very animated and all over the place. And he said a couple of things that made me kind of wonder how well they know each other and stuff, And I just...
Or do you mean you think it went deeper than a work relationship?
He was saying some weird stuff. He, for one thing, he kept calling me player. He was like, "You're lucky you out with her, player." And, he's always my best one, player.
My best one?
Like, best one? What are you... I'm thinking, what is he talking about,
Mm-hmm.
He just wouldn't shut up, and he's like, you think she look good now? You should have seen her in her prime.
What?
And
What an a-hole, dude. He sounds so creepy.
I'm looking at him thinking, I'm just trying to play along, right? I'm
Right.
trying to be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just pity laughing him like, oh man, Silky, I just met you, and you're like, you're just crazy.
I'm just hoping he goes away soon, And I let him know. I was like, hey, this is just our first date. And he's like, first date? Oh, you're going to get some. You're going to get it tonight.
He said that in front of her?
And how did she react?
Oh, my God.
She seemed a bit mortified, but was, trying to keep her composure. And I'm like, inside, I'm freaking like, who the hell are you? And he's like, come on, give me a fist bump. Come on, give me a fist bump.
Didn't
You gonna get it tonight, boy. Give me a fist bump. So did
He
you?
wouldn't leave, so I begrudgingly give him a fist pump. I'm like, yeah, man, sure.
Oh my God, I would have wanted to beat him up. Weren't you angry that someone was talking bad about her like that?
I was more intrigued than upset. I mean, she seemed upset. I was more like, what the hell is going on?
Oh,
It's
that's
like, get
awful.
out of here, Silky. So
Totally. I mean, I was just, and I asked her when he left, and she didn't want to talk about it. She was like, oh, it's just an old boss. I don't want to get into it. And that made me kind of wonder. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just seemed to me that, possibly that maybe they knew each other in a sort of way I didn't want to get involved with.
like they had a relationship or something?
No, I mean, not like a romantic relationship. I mean, it seemed like maybe she was possibly a prostitute or something. And,
What-
she was one of his girls. I mean, that's kind of like the vibe I got.
You-
My instincts were like,
Are you telling me you thought that he used to be her pimp?
I don't know that for a fact, but I mean, without a doubt, my instincts and my thoughts were kind of feeling that and thinking that. It was very uncomfortable.
So you're saying that you think she's a hooker?
I don't know if she is or used to be or was to be or wasn't, but it seemed sort of like that.
Okay,
you're
so that's
telling
why
me-
you're not calling her back then.
Yeah, I don't want to get involved with a guy named Silky who, is, gonna come after me.
You afraid Silky's gonna cut you?
Oh my God.
Why didn't you?
I don't even want to find out what Silky's gonna do.
Why not ask her? I mean, I know that's a really awkward thing to ask, but
I did ask her. I asked her who he was, and she didn't want to talk about it, and she was just uncomfortable, which added to the,
That is the most ridiculous jump to conclusions I've ever heard in my life.
Silky sounds like a
well,
pimp.
you weren't there. You weren't there. So, you can say that from where you're sitting now, but I'm telling you, I'm pretty good at the character.
well, let's ask her. I think that'd be a good idea. She's actually on the other line listening, so that's possible right now.
What?
Isabel, or were you or are you a hooker?
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not a hooker, Darren. Good God. I'm not a hooker. I worked for Silky at a burger joint, and I was embarrassed, so I didn't want to tell you.
Silky doesn't seem like he works at a burger joint, okay? Not the way
I know he doesn't, but he somehow became a manager, and he hired me.
I'm not really sure what to think, even though she just said that.
You're still not sure if maybe I'm not a hooker after having dinner, after going on a walk? After hanging out, you're still not sure, Darren, if I'm a prostitute?
I'm not saying you are now. Maybe you were before. I don't know. And you know what? I don't want to know.
I flipped burgers, and I was embarrassed, and I didn't want to tell you. I was not a lady of the night.
Well, what am I supposed to think? I mean, some guy named Silky comes up and is like, yo, she used to be part of my team. You used to see her in her time. I mean, I don't really think that's
I
what
was
a burger
the shift
manager
leader
would say.
in the morning.
I bet you were a shift leader.
Oh my God, you guys, you need to stop right now. Isabel was obviously not a prostitute.
I don't know. I don't know Isabel that well.
Wait, so you're saying you're going to jump in and be like, you don't know me, so I'm obviously a prostitute? I called you for help.
This is
I'm more
ridiculous.
joking.
All of you
I'm
are.
more joking with you, Isabel.
Okay.
I don't know what she does. I just don't want to see Silky again.
You realize that you're putting like one creepy dude that she used to know in the past personality totally on her.
I have not seen Silky in 7 years, and honestly, I hope I never see him again. I mean, I run into him once, and this is a nightmare.
It sounds worse than a nightmare.
Listen, I trust my instincts. It kind of seemed that way. I'm sorry if I got the wrong impression. It's hard not to think what I thought was Silky.
So you realize now that she just worked at a burger joint.
That's what I heard.
Oh, my God. Darren, seriously, I work at an architecture firm. That guy was my manager at a burger joint.
Yeah, not a lot of
Wow.
prostitutes go on to being architects.
I was in between jobs. Whose side are you on?
I'm on your side. I'm telling Darren that not a lot of prostitutes go on to work in architecture firms. I have a lot of experience. I know this kind of stuff. Darren, would you like to go on a second date with Isabel? We will pay for it.
That sounds bad now.
Doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it
Sounds
does.
like, how about this? Isabel will pay for this one with her own money that she earned in a very honest job.
To be honest with you, I just don't think it's a good fit, and I'd rather not.
Oh my God. And, Isabel, you don't want to go out with him anyway.
No, I don't. And from now on my first date, I'll just wear a shirt that says, "Hi, I'm not a prostitute."
It's a good idea. It's a nice fashion choice.
And I know she'll be the death of